you are an experienced nest leader who is currently feeling burnt out, dissatisfied, unstimulated in your current role, and experiencing a profound urgency for change, today I'm sharing the story of how becoming a nest consultant changed my life and how to achieve work life balance for nest leaders or nest managers. If you have not subscribed to my YouTube channel yet, then be sure to hit that subscribe button as well as the notification bell so that you're notified each time I publish a new video on how to help you regain control over your time, income, and make an impact through Nest Consulting. My story started back in 2017 when I decided I needed to start a business, whether it was going to be nursing related or non-related. I just knew that things needed to change. At that time, I was a nest manager for a fast growing company and I was doing very well. But things started to go downhill very quickly. I had started doing very long hours. So I was doing 10 to 12 hours in order to stay afloat of my very demanding and non-ending workload. Even when I was home, I found it hard to switch off. I would receive calls in the middle of the night and I would have to wake up and start solving problems. As a result, I always had this constant worry at the back of my mind. What if something goes wrong? What if the nurse who's on duty doesn't know what to do? What if? As a result, I was burnt out and running on empty. I wanted time freedom and full control over my schedule. At that point, money wasn't even the biggest factor for me. I thought to myself, what good will money do to me? Or what good will all this amazing job title do if I die young or if I get sick? At that point, I decided to leave full-time nursing leadership. I started experimenting with different business models. I started a YouTube channel, I started a blog, I was selling digital and online products. Basically, it was a period of rapid and accelerated learning for me. Financially, though, it was a struggle. Until one day, I decided to try nurse consulting. I thought to myself, why don't I take all these years of nursing expertise and package them into consulting services so that I can work directly with healthcare providers and fire the traditional job model and my boss. So I called my local nursing regulatory body and they gave me all the information and contact details I needed in order to get started. Within just a matter of weeks, I had started my consulting business and secured two major healthcare providers who became my long-term recurring clients. If you want to regain control over your time, impact, and income through nurse consulting as an experienced nurse or nurse leader, then I invite you to click the link in the description or in the comment section and book a call with me. We'll discuss if the nurse consultant blueprint is a good fit to help you achieve your nurse consulting goals. How did I actually decide what sort of nurse consultant I wanted to be? So there are 6 types of nurse consulting. There is clinical nurse consulting, there's administrative and policy nurse consulting, there's educational nurse consulting, then insurance or lead utilization review nurse consulting, legal nurse consulting, and entrepreneurial nurse consulting. When I started off, it was very easy. I simply looked at what I was good at, most passionate about, and what I knew was the biggest pain point in my industry. I settled on clinical nurse consulting and administrative nurse consulting through regulatory compliance for aged care or long-term care facilities. I would say do not spend too much time analyzing and thinking what sort of nurse consultant you can be. Simply look at what you're good at, what you've achieved, what you're passionate about, and where the pain is, and package that into consulting services that clients will be more than willing to pay for. Because, like I always say, as a consultant, you are a problem solver. So, for me, when I started off, the question I was asking myself was, what is the biggest problem I can solve? And what am I willing to actually solve? I didn't want to create a business in which I would not want to work in. I wanted to make sure that whatever I was consulting in was something I'm passionate about and also good at. So let me know for you, what type of nurse consultant are you going to be? From that point onwards, my life changed. I had full control over my own time and work schedule. And for me, that was more than the best part. I knew that I had earned the right to have autonomy over my work schedule given my years of nursing expertise. And if that is where you are as an experienced nurse leader, it's understandable that you're feeling like, oh, I need to have control over my own time and over my own schedule. I started building relationships with my clients by working with them on site and then later moving all my operations with them remote and offsite. I would now only go into facilities when I was needed, and that gave me location freedom. I finally had autonomy over who I worked with or didn't work with. Compare that with the traditional job model where you're basically stuck. If it's a hostile work environment, there's nothing you can do about it. You have to go in, day out. Whereas as a nurse consultant, I found that I have full control over who it is I chose to work with. I was no longer doing unpaid overtime. In fact, as a nurse consultant, your time is very, very valuable and billable by the hour. And I also had peace of mind because I was no longer picking up calls at 2 a.m. and trying to put out fires and always worried about, other people making mistakes, because as a nest leader, you're responsible for all these people's actions. Even when you're away from work, you're still answerable and responsible. And I think at that time when I was a full-time nest leader, it really created this background stress in my mind, like, oh my goodness, what if that new nurse makes a mistake? Oh my goodness, what if that person omits a medication or makes an error? And now, as a nurse consultant, I no longer had that background worry happening. And as a result, I had so much peace of mind. I had so much joy, and I was just enjoying my life and my career again. Lastly, I had control over my income. As a nurse consultant, you look at the market and demand, and you have full say over what it is you do decide to charge. I'm not saying clients will just agree to whatever price you charge, but I worked out a mathematical model of being able to know the sweet spot of what it is I was worth as a nurse consultant. Is it possible to achieve work-life balance for nurse leadership in a traditional job? My answer after so many years in nursing is rarely. Yes, you will find the few nurse leaders and managers who do have work balance because they have been blessed and fortunate to work for companies that are progressive and proactive about staff retention and having systems and policies in place that promote the well being of their leaders. But like I said, this is rare. As a result, it creates a setup where nest leaders go from one job to the next job, seeking flexibility, autonomy, income freedom, and they never find it because they go from one traditional company to the next traditional company, and you end up wasting so many years of your career. Whereas with nest consulting, overnight, you have full control over your time, you have full control over your schedule, you have full control over the impact you're making. As a result, you're more fulfilled, you're stimulated, and you're excited to be making a difference using your nursing expertise. If you want the A to Z blueprint on how to regain control of your time, impact, and income through nurse consulting, then I invite you to book a call with me. Click on the link in the description or comments below, and we'll see if you're a good fit for us to work together within the nurse consultant blueprint. Question for you. Is it possible to achieve work-life balance as a nurse leader in a traditional job? Yes or no? Let me know in the comments below. If you enjoyed this video, be sure to subscribe and also hit the like button so other amazing nurse leaders just like you will get notified each time I publish a new video. Lastly, if you want to know the exact steps to go from nurse to business owner, be sure to watch this video here. Thanks for watching. I'll see you next time.